Good morning. Often when we talk about the economy, we talk in general terms, statistics, employment rates, growth rates, trends. But actually, when we talk about economy, we're talking about companies and jobs and industries, how things are doing in every person's workplace, how things are going in a particular firm, whether we are doing well. Overall this year, I think the economy is doing not badly. We hope it will improve further. But it depends, because some parts of the economy are stronger, other parts are having more restructuring, more difficulties. And I have here with me Brother Tan Hock Soon, who is from the FDAWU, and he knows the hotel industry well, and I had a chat with him the other day, and he was telling me, actually, business is not bad, although margins are not big enough.
Over the last years, you have quite a number of rooms coming on board. So hotels are still enjoying high occupancy, about 80 and above, but margins are squeezed. That's basically because you have supply and demand that comes into play. So workers are paid bonuses, but not as good as before, but if not the same for this year.
But are the workers optimistic?
They are very excited because there are many things happening in the industry, especially with the use of introduction of technology. They got to upgrade themselves and to make sure that they stay relevant, and the job in the near future will get easier, safer and smarter because of introduction of all this.
Overall, it's a sector which is not doing badly.
Yeah.
And the workers are encouraged and making the effort. Another industry which is doing quite well but has some mixed issues is the chemicals industry. I think Sister Xiong Yi knows all about it. She is with Petroleum Industries Cluster, and she herself has been working there for quite some time.
I started working when I was 19 years old. I see the vibrancy, I see the buzz of it. Right now we are having this renewable energy in Tuas. When I started working in 1983, we have those pioneers like Shell, like Esso, and they're still here after 30 years. But for the last 10 years, Ted and I, they actually left. But having said that, in our branches, we have Evonik. They are actually investing in another plant. So we are expecting another probably 150 engineering jobs.
New jobs are still being created.
Yes, new jobs are still being
created. But you're also seeing consolidations?
Recently, my company, we are actually running a rubber plant. Right now, they are consolidating their 3 businesses into one. So as a result of that, we have to transfer our rubber plant back to them. So as a result of this, we actually lose our members to them, but we are happy that jobs are still remain. There's no retrenchment, and honor some of the benefits for our members.
So they carry their seniority over, their benefits?
They actually start fresh. Although they still retain their seniority in the company, majority of them already almost 20, 30 years. But when they go there, it's like a new slate, you see. It's like fresh start.
Start again.
Yes, that's right. So we are very happy for
that. But
them.
there may be future restructuring too, and some workers may be affected. The PMETs particularly may not find it so easy.
Correct. For management and the union, we can actually work together, knowing that if a company is going to close down, give them time to retrain themselves, to upgrade themselves, perhaps like a second career. 2 years before your retirement, the actually company give you the options to upgrade yourself for a second career. So I do have members who took up safety courses, crane operators. Even there's one, he went for a chef course. So long as it's a certification course, management actually sponsor.
From a fireman, he became a chef.
I do have a fireman right now because he took up a safety officer course. So right now he comes back to Jurong Island as a safety officer. So this is one of the good examples.
So that's a good progression. It's a related field and his own knowledge is relevant.
Correct, yeah. If company know that they're going to have some restructuring program, the union can come into and together, we can upgrade themselves. So I say this is a very good program.
Yeah, that's the way we should do it. Another industry which is in a downturn right now is offshore and marine. So this is an industry where you may have 12 months bonus or you may have no bonus. And right now is lean time. So Brother Chong Fat is with the offshore and marine. He's been there quite a number of years. I think he knows what the business is like.
Offshore marine oil and gas sector is in a very painful situation. For the last 2 years, the industry as a whole shed about 30 to 40,000 jobs overseas and locally, including the subcontractors.
Mostly the overseas foreign workers.
Foreign workers. And last 2 years, the unionized company retrenched about 1,005, and another 460 employee aged 62 and above were retired and not offered re-employment. For the first 3 months alone, unionized company retrenched about 200 employees. Even repair jobs are hardly to come by. We are looking at another few hundred will be retrenched.
What's happened? What are you able to do for the workers who are retrenched?
Yeah, we have been trying to arrange a job fair for them to introduce them to other sectors, such as aerospace or the railway, where they're still looking for employees, so they do not lose their skill.
Yeah.
Which is similar engineering skill.
Are the workers responding? They take because it's a very serious matter for them.
Some of them are responding because they are keen. Some of them, because of their age, they think that it's very difficult to cope.
Our first priority should be to help them to find another job. And it should be possible because there are other sectors where we're still looking for engineers, for people with these kinds of skills. Aerospace, for example, Sister Sylvia is at the services cluster, and aerospace is still looking for people.
Yes, indeed. We have several aerospace companies that are still hiring. So to Brothers Chongfat's question, we can actually work together because some of the skills from the offshore and marine are still portable. So recently we have the professional conversion program adopted by GE Aviation. So they have taken 15. And we have one guy who's in his early 50s. So we are able to reskill him to take on the job. So we thought that this is very good for the union to work together, where there are people who are still hiring. We can actually job match them so that they don't leak out from the industry. We still keep them within the industry.
The schemes are in fact there, but we have to get people to know about them and to take advantage of them.
Yes. So we are doing a lot of awareness with MOM, WSG, E2I.
That's between industries from offshore to aerospace, is from the sea to the sky. But sometimes, even within an industry, you may need to redeploy people. I mean, you look at financial services, they are restructuring, employing more people, but different skills than before. And that comes under your group too, I think.
Yes. Together with the NTUC Financial Cluster, the union from the financial cluster, we work together very closely with the tripartite partners, including Monetary Authority of Singapore, the Association Bank in Singapore, and WSG. So we look at some of the programs that they have, right? For the financial sector right now is evolving and transforming very fast because of the digital transformation. So there are some jobs that need to be re-engineered, job redesign. The frontline job is no longer the same. So we have a growth area and niche area like wealth management, cyber security, fintech, and compliance, anti-money laundering processes. These are growth areas, and the banks are still hiring. So we are trying to sort of redeploy the workers from those jobs. We are working very closely, unions and the employers, and telling the employers, giving feedback to how they should restructure and modify the training, especially the OJT, as we move along.
Yeah. I want to talk about one more industry which is doing quite well, and that's the port industry. Jessie has been with PSA Union for many years now. You've seen some very tough times. You've seen it bounce back. A lot of hard work has gone into that, restructuring over the years. How do you feel about it right now?
Yes, PM. I must say I'm happy to say that things are looking a lot brighter than last 1-2 years. We've seen some growth. And from now, people are getting busier. In fact, barring unforeseen circumstances, the next 6 months we ought to be very busy. Last year, because of the slowdown, we took the opportunity to quickly transfer many of our staff. We transferred 520 staff to all the other terminals, away from the city terminals. Yeah, so we consolidated. Now we're doing better. Hopefully, we will be at the end of the tunnel by the end of the year. So the workers are a lot happier now. It's a different set of problem now. It's a happy problem now. They're worried about, they're so busy, will the fatigue set in later on.
Well, that is good. But you have to watch competition too, because there is competition growing around us. PTP, Port Klang.
Correct. So we have been working very closely with the management to ensure that we keep our productivity up, and we must make sure the ships sail as quickly as possible, and we must be ahead of the rest. We always reminded that people are waiting to eat our lunch.
Yes, indeed. You must make sure you steal somebody else's lunch.
yes.
Are you trying out new technology?
Yes, PSA has a living lab at Paspanjang, so we're testing out the AGVs. So this is the driverless automated guided vehicles.
So you're testing it out now?
We are running it at Paspanjang at a very small scale. Once successful, we will do this in Tuas. Yeah. So.
And the workers are receptive? They feel threatened, or they
my
understand?
drivers are a bit worried. What's going to happen when you go to Tuas and it's all driverless? So we are working out to see for those. Of course, the Paspanjang will remain to have the drivers.
Yeah.
But in the Tuas, I think we will need very few. So we're trying to see for those who are trainable to move them on to different jobs. Yeah. So there's quite a lot of upskilling. In fact, last year when we transferred our staff from the city terminals to the others, we have about 20% of the older workers who actually took on new jobs in the other terminals.
That's good. You go on learning journeys to visit other countries and other cities, right?
Yes.
You went to Chengdu recently?
Yes. Recently, the other union, Metal Industries, and together with three of my port union, we went to Chengdu. I must say, we heard about Industry 4.0, so we went and we saw 2 smart factories. I must say it is beyond our expectation that the Industry 4.0 is actually that far ahead. So,
what does it mean, Industry 4.0? Hokpo was telling me about it the other day.
So we went on to Chengdu to visit 2 smart factories. And to our impression, we know that in China they have huge factory, they have a very big land to actually to cater for the factory. And also they have a large workforce. I think 20 over years ago when we visited the Suzhou Park and the Wuxi Park, we already see that, you see. So, and we also saw our machine that used to operate in Singapore have been transferred to there. But after 20 over years, when we go to Chengdu, and we really see the impact of what is Industry 4.0. I think the factory is fully automated, and they collected the real-time data, and also they analyzed the data in order to ensure that the production process is smooth, and also there was no defect on their products. All the machines are fully automated, and I don't know whether to use worker or to use a technician is looking after 15 to 18 machines. His main job is not to operate the machine. His main job is to troubleshoot the machine. Whenever there's any breakdown or whenever there's any defect. On top of that, the data collected that they are able to ensure that all the machines are predictive. They are doing the predictive maintenance.
So before it breaks down, you
rather than
maintain it and fix
rather
it.
than preventive maintenance. Meaning to say that when the machine runs towards certain hours, certain parts need to be replaced or repaired, they will be able to predict. We also find out from the management that their workers, whenever they want to make any changes in their production process, the affected workers will be given the opportunity to be trained to some other jobs. And during our observation, I think the Chinese workers are very eager to learn. And I think many of them even have got the certification of Six Sigma, Green Belt, Black Belt. And
so these are well-educated workers?
I think
some of them were actually rank and file, but they were willing to actually take up training on their own.
The factory itself, they employ about 12,000 employees, and they built a dome that can cater about 11,000 workers. And also around the factory area, they have quite a number of convenience shops They even built a police station beside the factory. So we can imagine how the local authority,
Support them.
very supportive towards this kind of industry. And the facility that provided by management, the management put on the same uniform as worker, and they went lunch together with worker. They do it together with the workers. They have a e-learning center in order to train and to upgrade their people. They also coincide with the local institute to provide some form of certification when these workers are going through the training, and they will be able to certify. A lot of incentives have been provided by the management. Therefore, I think generally the workforce are very stable, and I think they did not have any job hop issue.
If I may add, the workers there are quite willing to upgrade and train because they saw that actually the transformation in the factory is
But the workers were hungry. I mean, they
yes.
feel hungry.
They are very
yes,
hungry.
because the e-learning is actually bite-sized. So during their own free time, they will go to the lab, put on, and then click which module, and then key in their own personal data, and they will be able to track. You have completed how many modules.
So we should be doing that with Skills Future.
That's why I told PSA when we move up to Tuas, we have to do this.
Yes. In
Yeah.
fact, before you go to Tuas.
Because we are on 24/7.
Yes.
So training is so difficult.
Yes.
Today, the factories have become a lot smaller in terms of workforce. This company we visited told us that at a steady state, they were planning for 25,000 workforce. But today, with all this, they are now able to, maximum, they said they will only go up to 12,000. And they don't need the rest. And the output actually will double also with all this digitalization.
So our firms need to be able to go in this direction. You
Yes.
can't have such huge firms in Singapore,
Correct.
but
The
you need to be
process.
able to be as flexible, as spry, and
Yes.
adaptable, and be able to go from
Yes.
batch to batch and make all kinds of different
Correct.
things.
Yeah.
The Singapore Teachers Union has a project in Moscow, I think, training Russian teachers, and Mike has been doing this project for several years. When I went to Moscow last year, he came with me, so he can tell us something about it.
This is Russia. It's already a superpower. It's got enormous land capacity, resources, and about 140 million people. But they are also moving. They are also hungry to learn.
What is your project there?
We do teacher training, and we have been to classes where these teachers apply our methodologies in their classrooms. Right? Previously, they were just stand and deliver kind, but now they're interactive. They get the students to do more, and the students also deep dive into learning deep content, right? And they are very eager to learn. They learn very fast. They pick up concepts very fast, and they apply it. This is what we need to do. Most of us just learn as if it's just head knowledge. We need to apply it, and when we apply, then we know the skills being harnessed and built. Right? This is the gap I think we see, where teachers learn, but it's not really quite applied yet.
But the spirit is strong.
The spirit is very strong, and it's deeply inherent, and you can see it, them moving, they wanting to move and say that, we want to be the best.
Well, it's a spirit which all of us should have, and especially our young people. And they're going into a new world, new opportunities, new challenges. And we have to, you can't hold their hand all the way, but you can encourage them and guide them in the right direction. And Zuhaina has been working with young people, and I think she has some very encouraging experiences to tell.
These young people, they actually, we get involved with their transition in their careers by helping them to prepare themselves. Some of them are fresh graduates, some of them are already working in their first job and moving on to another job because they find that there's like a mismatch or a difference of profile in what they actually wanted to do and what they're actually working. So there's no job satisfaction, and as a result, that's where we get involved with helping them in the next career move or as an entry level by maybe helping them with their CVs, letting them get engaged with career mentors who are already experienced in the industry, as specialists in the different industries and their sectors. So that's how this came about by letting them come in between and getting their own career guidance or career
Guiding
mentors.
them.
Yes.
So working with young people, you're confident of Singaporeans, of our young people, of the future? What's your impression?
I've also spoken to a few who feels that, you know, they are in an era where they are entitled or they're privileged to what the government is giving. Like, okay, if you study up to a degree stage, this is what you are entitled to. Not all of them are like that, but I think we need to manage that expectations as well. We need to create awareness and educate them at the level where, yes, you have this, but you still need to do this. Come in between. Don't expect everything to be given to you. And I think that's very important to implement that to our youth. I have teenagers myself, so like I don't want them to
all
feel
of us
that,
as parents feel concern for our children.
I don't want them to feel that, oh, as long as I study up till this stage, put in this effort now, then I will have all the things that I'm entitled to. And that's something that we need to change in them. Yeah,
it's something which we have to work on.
Yes.
Always, we cannot always be, well, you must always want to do better, but you cannot always want to hope for the sky.
Yes.
And that is a challenge.
Yes.
Because if you are not hungry, you won't try, but if you are unrealistic, then you will be disappointed.
Yes.
And I think we have to work hard, and with NTUC's help and the tripartite partners, we can do that. Thank you very much.